How often do we get these stories where Joe Biden says something and the White House panics and then retracts or pulls back? It tries to walk it back. That happens all the time. Joe Biden must be like sitting in his basement watching, reruns of Who's the Boss or something, just totally oblivious to what's going on in the real world. And they bring him out, they give him the teleprompter, and that's why they don't want him answering questions. That's why there was a really funny moment when he was talking to the press. He had a list of the people he was supposed to call in what order. And then he actually said something. I can't remember exactly what he said, but one of the journalists asked a different question. He was like, I thought you were going to ask about, anyway. Yeah, because it's all pre-scripted. It's all pre-written. He has, what was it? Someone saw that he had like a list of journalists or something. Their heads were circled.
He had cheat cards with their photos and their names and their media organizations and the pre-scripted questions that they were going to ask him. All of it, it's a show. It's all entertainment. Yeah. It's Hollywood for ugly people.
I want to tell you, my friends, the media works. It does. I often say that this conflict we're facing, the culture war, has to do with the people who are paying attention and know what's going on and the people who don't. The people who only watch mainstream media or CNN have no idea what's going on. I can sit here and have very different opinions from you, Inez, but we agree on reality to a greater extent, and that's why we're probably having a conversation. People like these more lefty individuals, we pulled up the Twitter bias of, say, Vosh, who's a leftist commentator. He consumes 95% leftist sources. Yeah. Whereas most people here on the show, it's a balance of left and right. I want to show you this. I saw this on Reddit. r/political humor. They wrote, "It finally happened." And then there's our good friend Jeff Teardrick, who got who rose to fame by responding to Trump. He's a Trump reply guy. He tweeted, "It's finally happened. The family of raccoons that live inside Lauren Boebert's head have completely chewed through the wires." And he's quoting a tweet from Lauren Boebert where she says, "It's almost the end of 2021, and I've yet to see Biden mobilize true international pressure like he promised. What's the holdup?" This is fascinating. I tweeted they're accidentally mocking Biden, but don't know enough to realize it. This Jeff Teardrick guy is saying that the raccoons have chewed through the wires in Lauren Boebert's head because Lauren Boebert quoted Joe Biden. Albeit, Lauren, you were wrong. It's true and nana shabba pressure.
Yeah, that's right.
True and nana shabba pressure.
Get it right.
Get it right. That's what Joe Biden said. And so I saw that it was on Reddit. It was like the front page. The thousands of comments of people being like, "Oh my God, Lauren Boebert is so dumb." Oh. And I was like, Lauren Boebert quoted Joe Biden and you're calling her dumb and saying raccoons are eating her brain? Yo, that's what we think about Joe Biden. Why won't they get it? Because the media didn't tell them this. So the craziest thing is when you pull up this dude's tweet and you actually look at people are responding, they're like, she's crazy. I agree with Boebert. Biden should be mobilizing all sorts of made up words. I'm trending for being stupid again. All of these tweets calling her insane, crazy, an idiot, a moron, etc. You only need to replace Lauren Boebert's name with Joe Biden because that's who she was mocking for saying true and anana shabba pressure. He also said Batacalf care. I don't know what that is either. And then here's the best part on Reddit. I'm scrolling through the comments and I'm like, did anyone point out she's literally mocking Biden and they don't realize? Someone did. They were like, someone said, what is this supposed to be? I don't understand. Finally, someone responded. And they said, it's from this video. And they linked to a clip of Joe Biden saying, Trinidad Chapter Pressure. And then all the responses turned into, to make fun of a man with a stutter like that is just wrong. And I'm like, you know what, man? There's tribalism and media manipulation right there. Because these people don't know. You can see it. If they genuinely think Biden is sharp and with it and able to do this job, when the dude speaks gibberish. And if you point it out, they think it's you speaking gibberish.
This is why I have no anticipation that these people will be shamed or woken up, literally woken up by watching a child be harassed by police. They're going to pivot and pivot and pivot until they're dizzy and they literally don't know which side's up and which side's down or what's up and what, I have no hope for these people. I really don't.
This is idiocracy, but this is idiocracy. How do you call it? I was going to say exemplified, but
tenfold.
Exploded,
curated, and promoted by, of course, the algorithms that make people see this and spread this kind of larger idiocracy to the general public. So again, this is not, I would say, a perfect reflection of reality, but this is the crazy car crash examples of reality that people stop and look at. But at the end of the day, this is still a car crash, and to me, not a representation of a lot of people. So there are a lot of people totally ignorant, not knowing what's going on.
They don't listen to Biden.
And, well, the numbers back you up. People are losing faith in all of these institutions, not starting with the media, where faith has been low for decades, but in all of these institutions, every single poll shows that we are losing. And in some ways, that's scary, right? Because we do need some kind of institutions. So it's as a small c conservative, like that's when you have revolutions. That's why when you have a total rejection of any kind of order. So it's necessarily, I think, a kind of dangerous time, but I think it's a good thing that people are losing faith in institutions that are lying to them. And so I agree with you. I think that there are a lot more people who aren't plugged into the capital N narrative than it would appear.
What we get from this evidence, or I should say data, not definitive proof. It's data adding to the fact that many of these people get their news from memes.
Yeah.
Now look, certain memes can be funny, and memes can share information, and memes are a powerful thing. But you don't only get your news from memes, but they do. They don't actually listen to Joe Biden. They don't listen to his speeches. We do. That's how we know he fell up those stairs. That's how we know he said bada calf Karen, Trinidad Shabbat pressure. It's how we know he himself proclaimed, let's go Brandon. Because we actually watch and listen to what's going on in politics. Same thing is true with Donald Trump. When Trump was president, they didn't watch him.
Yep.
They only got their news from memes, and they believe it, and they voted on it. And here we are. A country cannot run based on ignorant people voting for policies based on each other. It's like the blind leading the blind off a cliff. How do you solve for it? I guess we do shows like this. We say, hey, guys, share shows like this. Share these tweets. Explain to people. Make a meme of this, and then show the clip of Joe Biden saying, Trinidad Shabbat pressure. Those videos where... Here's it's in my head. I can see it. Oh, it's a video of Joe Biden going, shooting on a Shabbat pressure, shooting on a Shabbat pressure. Then it shows Jeff Teardrick's tweet and plays the theme from Curb Your Enthusiasm or whatever. There you go. You got a meme right there. And then people will see it and be like, wow, they don't know anything about the guy they voted for.
Well, I don't think anyone did. I think they just voted against Donald Trump.
Right.
I think the corporate media kind of brought him to the presidency while he was hiding out in his basement, wasn't even campaigning, wasn't even there shaking hands with all the individuals. He was literally doing really crappy vlog videos from his basement. So truly, this shows you the power of the corporate media. But I think a lot of people are being disenfranchised by it. And their relationship with big tech social media, I think, is the thing that is making a lot of people blind. But I think memes are a way of combating it. I think memes are awesome. I think they're great. They're also a double-edged sword. There's a lot of disinformation memes out there. But predominantly, I think if it wasn't for memes, I think we would be dumbed down even a lot more than if it wasn't for memes.
Memes are good things. Like making the videos that debunk this stuff. But if you're only getting your information from like a meme group
or from Reddit,
right,
specifically, where again everything's carefully curated and they push a vision that they want you to have. And again, I was going to talk about the intelligence agencies and the ties to them, but I don't want to go off that rant again. But I think it's fair to say, this level of idiocracy, I think is promoted in such a way where it looks like it's the norm. I don't think it is. But people believing that it is the norm makes people more ignorant, makes people copy and mimic that behavior because they want to fit into what they're seeing online as what is popular. And that's the trick that's being played on people.
I think it's a paradox for these media outlets, though, because the stronger and more obviously they spin the narrative, the more their institutional credibility collapses. And that is backed up by like survey after survey after survey. So that's why shows like this probably get more viewers than most CNN shows, right? They are going to, the more that they spin that narrative, the fewer people are going to find them credible. I think that's why now you're shifting so much to where social media companies are deciding, what isn't permissible to post. I think that's a reaction to the success of alternative media because so many people are tuning out from the corporate media narrative. But that in itself shows the weakness of the current system.
So you're saying we shouldn't believe CNN when they just named the CEO of Pfizer the CEO of the year?
Well, Luke, I got to criticize you. I think it's fair to say he's the CEO of the year. I mean, look at the profits they're raking in. To secure these kinds of contracts with no liability, you are a good CEO.
Some people would say he's making a killing.
No, just let's be real. I mean, is it of all the CEOs, who's guaranteed the most money for their company? It's either going to be him, Moderna, or Johnson & Johnson, right?
Absolutely. They're creating more billionaires than any other industry out there.
There you go.
You might have to fact check me on this. If I recall, the entire intake of money for the music industry in the country is $12 billion a year. Okay? Pfizer for 2021 is going to rake in $32.5 billion for this year. Wow. That's a lot of power, dude.
And
that's a lot.
Look, if I tell you this, how would you guys feel? How would you feel if the government mandated people watch Timcast IRL? We'd be loaded. We'd be billionaires. We got 300 some odd million people. How many? 250 working age adults? Is it 250 million?
I think so.
There should be more kids than that. I guess not. Okay, so all of those people forced to watch the show, getting 250 million views per night, and all the government has to do is point the long arm of the law at them and threaten imprisonment, and then we get all the free money. Look, you'd be a great CEO to force your product on people, right?
Absolutely.
Well, that's what health insurance companies
Yeah.
currently have
Exactly.
under Obamacare.
Yep. Pesky seatbelts. Insurance companies lobbied to make us have to wear seatbelts, so it lowers their costs. It just really does. I don't know if I don't have any specific examples of them actually lobbying for that though. But that's what I was told back in Chicago. Like people were. That's what I was told. So it must be true. You know.
Surely.
You read it in a meme.
No, I love how Donald Trump would always say something outrageous and then be like, when people were giving him a look, well, that's what I was told.
Many people are saying.
Many people are saying. No, when I was younger, I was out. People are talking about the click it or ticket stuff, and what I was told was that insurance companies lobbied so that when accidents, because accidents are going to happen no matter what, insurance companies got to pay out the medical. But if you lobby for seatbelt laws, it does reduce the amount of overall costs on the healthcare system.
New Hampshire is one of the few places in the United States where there's no mandatory seatbelt laws, and they have some of the cheapest car insurance out there in the nation. So there's that. But again, there's of course exceptions to the rule.
There's also some, I don't know about sort of who lobbied for what, but there are a couple sort of out there studies that I can't necessarily endorse because I just don't know enough about the subject, but I have read a couple studies that show that mandating seatbelts have made people more reckless drivers. People feel safer, they drive more recklessly. So
perhaps
there's a feedback loop. I cannot speak to the veracity of that though.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to watch live, you can check out this channel Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and if you want more unfiltered and uncensored content with all of these guests, go to timcast.com and become a member. All of these guests you know and love in exclusive segments on our website where we are unrestricted in what we talk about, so you'll definitely not want to miss it. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you all next time.